Leave us a message. You have a possibility of winning tickets to the Kennedy Space Center today. And then also you leave a message in our YouTube chat. I know we got a ton of people on YouTube right now. If you leave a message, I want to win a big green egg from Wassey's Meat Market, you could do that as well. Welcome back. I'm Russ Rollins. Along with Daisy Del Toro, we got Carlos and Angel and Ryan here today. And we have a special guest on the line with us right now who's live on our chat. And that's Paul. And I want to make sure I say it right. Macchiano, right?
No.
How do I say it properly? How do I say it? Mecurio.
Mancini, Mecurio, Mannix, whatever.
Paul, I got to tell you, out of I've done this for about 30 years now. You are the most meticulous. I mean, when it comes to like follow up, no, I'm not sorry. I love it. No comic.
I'm a pain in the ass.
No,
my wife says the same thing.
I don't think of it that way. No, I'm like, oh my God, he sent me another email. He is so excited about this interview. I was so, and you've given me so much information.
And you couldn't get my name right. What is that all about?
I know. I kept asking him. I said, how do I say it properly? It's Mecurio, right?
Yeah,
there you go. Paul Mecurio. And of course, he's this guy. This is amazing. And we've got a comic that's here as well. And he went to college to be like an attorney as well, and then ends up going into stand-up comedy. And I know you graduated from Georgetown Law School, and you worked on Wall Street, and then you become a stand-up comic. Like, how does that even, like, you would think that you're making pretty good money as a lawyer. Why become a stand-up comic?
Right. Were you in the room when I told my parents this? Because that's exactly what my father went like. Like he was like, "What are you doing?" Right. I don't know, man. I didn't plan on it. You don't go to law school thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna take a shift and go to comedy." I just started writing jokes as a hobby, and I was doing these M&A deals, merger and acquisitions on Wall Street, and I had like a bunch of jokes I had written, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them. And one night, Jay Leno was at like a private entertainment at this function my firm got invited to. So I went up to him and I had a whole bunch of jokes written. And I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you need jokes." And I had like all these papers, but you can have them because I'm never going to use them. And he was like, "Okay." Like he really does talk like they're letting helium out of a balloon very slowly, right? It's like,
right.
So he takes the jokes. And I think, okay, whatever. And I go back to my life. And a few days later, my phone rings and I hear this. "It's Jay Leno. Is Paul there?" And I'm like, there's no way Jay Leno's calling me, right? So I think it's my friend David who likes to pull pranks, pretending to be Jay Leno.
Right.
And I was like in a bad mood and I was really busy at work. I'm like, "Look, David, stop. I know it's not Jay Leno." He goes, "No, really, it's Jay Leno." I go, "David, I'm really busy." He goes, "No, it's Jay Leno." I go, "Stop." He goes, "It's Jay Leno." And I actually said to Jay Leno, "You do a lousy Jay Leno."
That's funny. And what are the chances, I mean, that you just kind of give him the jokes and you already have a career? Okay, so he calls you, and what does he say?
He says, "It's Jay Leno." And then I realize it's Jay Leno. And it's like, What do you want, Jay? I'm busy. No. I said, he goes,
big time.
He goes,
good plan.
"Listen, I read your jokes and I need jokes for the Tonight Show monologue. I'll pay you $50 a joke if I use something." I go, "Is this for real?" He goes, "Yeah." And then he started busting my chops. He goes, "What do you do for a living?" I go, "I'm a lawyer." He goes, "I knew it." I go, "Why?" He goes, "You write like a lawyer. It's too wordy."
Too wordy.
Dude, that is unbelievable. I shouldn't say unbelievable.
Story.
What a great story of like taking action and doing it. And most people are like, "Don't hand Jay." They would tell you, "Don't hand Jay jokes." How do you know? And then he calls. That story's been told a lot in the sense of Jay's genuineness. And so it doesn't surprise me. Good for you, man. That is so awesome.
And the best part of this that says a lot about Jay is the following week he called me to tell me he was going to do my first joke on the Tonight Show.
Oh, no.
And he called me himself. And I'm like, "Look, dude, I can't be your friend. I know you're needy, Jay.
Get off, man.
I got to go on Monsters in the Morning. I don't have time for this nonsense."
Yeah.
And he did that joke. He paid me $50. So like, here's a middle-class Italian kid from Providence, Rhode Island, working on Wall Street, doing these huge deals.
Right.
You think that would it was this crazy little joke just because I grew up loving to watch stand-up. And I think what happened was, out of that box, that TV, other people's jokes came out. And then one night it was my joke and people reacted to it. You know, the way you do your show and you get a reaction, you're doing something creative. And then and then I started to do stand up at night and I was living a secret double life where I was like a Wall Street guy by day, and I would sneak around the dive bars in New York City doing open mic nights.
Hey, what did the other Wall Street guys think about? Oh, there's the guy.
That's my joke.
He thinks he's a stand-up comedian. Like,
yeah, sure. That's your joke on Tonight Show. Yeah, right.
We're tired of coming to your open mics, bro.
Hey, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well,
I got
people
funny
always say to me,
Patrick's
like,
coming up.
funny? Like, did you know you were going to do this? Were you funny? And then I said, like, well, I was always the funniest lawyer in my law firm.
Yeah.
Which, that's like saying you're the sexiest IT guy. It's not really saying much. But
right.
It's like, so they at first I didn't tell anybody. And then when I told them, they were like, oh, that's cool, man. And they all came out to watch me, which was crazy. Like, which freaked me out, because like now these people that I worked with during the day were in the audience, and I sucked in the beginning. When you start doing it, you're terrible. But
I've been sucking all my life, but we're different.
Oh my God, Daisy, calm it down.
Daisy, Daisy's horny.
We're so sorry for her.
She's drunk and horny,
Hey,
all right, that's okay.
I've been really busy. I'm sorry.
so Paul, now you're working on the Stephen Colbert Show, right?
Yeah.
That is.
I'm there right now, actually. Yeah.
Oh, is that where you're at right now?
Yeah.
And you're good.
Yeah.
I want to say this before, because I got a bunch more stuff to ask you about. But Paul is going to be at the Dr. Phillips Center here on December the 29th. That's the reason he was calling in today. Of course, we're not going to be, as it gets closer to the time, we're not going to be on the air. We'd love to have you support as we got closer, but I want people to know that you're going to be there on the 29th. You're going to love the Dr. Phillips Center. It's awesome. Hey, Paul, one of the things that we've been talking about all morning, and I see that you've had to deal with it a little bit, and that is with your mom, because I'm dealing with my mom right now, and she's up there in age, and dealing with your parents as they get older is difficult. But you said, I guess your mom had a furniture store and and still wanted to work at it, right?
So she's 96. She just turned 96. The most progressive woman I'll ever know. She's like in 1960 in a tenement house, started a business with a high school education. When women of that generation, stayed home and took care of the family, which was a full-time job, but she wanted something more.
Right.
She ran the business for 63 years, and we all had to work in it. And then we had to make her close the store because she's 96. And she's fine. She's 90. She will not go down. We try everything.
Yeah.
That's sweeping the leg.
Trank dart.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg.
Right, exactly. Well, she bounces back up like a little Italian weave. She will not go down.
Okay, she does the flip up like Johnny does.
She's
okay,
like, oh my God, you put some bad milk in front of her. She drinks it, nothing, right? And so she's mad. So she's mad to the point where she started to make lists of other places she could open her store behind our back. My brother and my sister and I were trying to close the door.
Yeah.
She goes, I go, look, Ma, you're retired now. You have your health still. You go do fun things. We'll take you to the senior center. She goes, I'm not going there. Those people are old.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're old. You're 96. What do you think? You're going to go skydiving with Taylor Swift? You're old for that.
That would be awesome, though.
So she's like, well, why do I have to close the store? Why do I have to close the store? Let's start with this. First of all, she grew up in the Depression. Now, I don't know, Russ, if your mom's like this, but they don't want to spend any money. Even though they have it, they don't want to spend money.
Exactly.
Right? So my mother goes garbage canning. That's what I call it. So on Sunday nights in Providence, Rhode Island, people put their garbage out. She goes through the garbage looking for good garbage because she's got a friend, Mario, who fixes things. And that's how she found her hearing aid in the garbage. I swear to God. And it whistles all. It's just like, yeah, it's like talking to a tea kettle in a house dress, okay? So she goes, well, why do I have to close the store? Well, let's start with this. My mother was locking customers in the store in the middle of the day, okay? So I go to the store when the door's locked, right? And there's a woman in the store, but there's no broken glass. I don't know how she got in the store. So I go in, I go, man, what happened? She goes, well, I was looking around. I turned to ask your mother a question. I couldn't get out. I said, how long you been here? She goes, 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I go, what have you been doing? She goes, well, I browsed a lot. She goes, I took a nap on that sofa. And she goes, is your name Paul? I go, yeah, why? She goes, well, the phone rang and I took messages. She took messages for me, okay?
Oh, my God.
So you can never win with your parents.
No.
Right? You can, right? You're
Tell
always
me
a
about
child. So I say to my mother, because what happened was my mother couldn't hear that the woman was in the store. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. She decided, oh, I want to close the store and I want to go shopping. I want to get some new clothes. And she just closed the store. Like, that's what she would do. So I said to her, Ma, you can't lock people in a store in the middle of the day. You know what she says to me? She goes, oh, I don't know what you're yelling at me about. The woman took a nap on that sofa. She liked it so much she's going to buy it. I made a sale and I wasn't even in the store. I'm like, okay, you know what?
Wow.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, that's good. Hey, I saw also that you do a podcast and you were able to interview Paul McCartney. Now that's a rare. Not everybody gets to do that. I know Howard Stern just did recently, and some people get to. But how did you get the opportunity to interview Paul McCartney?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's sort of like the Jay Leno thing. It's like, you know, if you don't ask, you never know.
Right.
And I tell my son that. Like I said, like there's this fine line of being obnoxious and also just being proactive.
You're so
and
right.
Like, you know, like so he was doing a show performance here. He had just finished rehearsal. And I had to get into the studio because I was actually on the show that day too, and I had to rehearse something. So I run down the stairs, I round the corner, and in the hallway, all alone, is Paul McCartney, standing against the wall, like leaning against the wall like this, chewing gum, looking up at the ceiling, like with a little Colbert T-shirt tucked in, like a 12-year-old boy. But he was all alone, guys. That's what freaked me out. Like there was no manager, there was no handler, there wasn't a parrot on his shoulder, nothing, right? And so you see Paul McCartney, you're blown away, but you see him alone. Like my whole world slowed down. I'm like, oh my God, it's Paul McCartney.
Sure.
And I'm like, should I say hi? Should I not say hi? And I'm like, you know what? He's alone in a hallway, unguarded. He's like a gazelle on the Serengeti Plains. I'm a lion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, screw that.
Right? So I go up and I say, hey, it's just an honor to meet you. We're all so excited to see your performance. Big fan, walk away. And he goes, wait, come back. I'm like, what? What do you want now?
Again, with these gigantic celebrities trying to be your
First
friend.
it's Leno, then it's you. What do you want from me? So he goes, what's your name? I go, Paul. He goes, oh, Paul, that's a good name. I'm like, I'll do the jokes, buddy.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you do? I go, well, I'm a stand-up. I work on this show. I work on The Daily Show. And he goes, oh, I love stand-up. He goes, Robin, we was talking about Robin Williams and Richard Pryor. He goes, you got a kid? I go, yeah, I got a kid too. He goes, it's hard when you're touring with a kid, right? So we're just chit-chatting. 5-10 minutes go by. I'm talking to Paul McCartney like I'm talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And on the outside, I'm smooth. I'm like, hey, I'm talking to Paul McCartney. On the inside, I'm like, I'm talking to Paul McCartney. Like, out of my mind. And you know, like if there was this girl or guy you're trying to, like, I don't know, you're trying to get a date, pick somebody up at a bar, you're trying, there's like two things going on in your mind at the same time. One is like, just keep it going, keep it going, don't screw it up. And the other is trying to be present. And that's what I was doing. And as I'm talking to him, I'm checking him out. I'm getting closer and closer to his face because he's Paul McCartney, and he looked amazing. I was so close. I could have cleaned like ticks off his eyebrows like a chimp on the Discovery Channel. So I'm so close that I got him pinned against the wall and he's leaning back. I'm like the close talker in Seinfeld. So then I go, okay, I'm going to just leave the guy alone. So I go into the bathroom and I call my wife and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. And I start like hyperventilating. He's like, hey, just talk to Paul McCartney. And she goes, where are you? I go, I'm in the bathroom at the Colbert Show. She goes, what are you doing in the bathroom? Are you being creepy in the bathroom? I'm like, no, I'm not. That's not Tuesday. And so I go.
He was being creepy in front of McCartney.
Exactly. And then I blurt these words out to my wife. Paul McCartney should do my podcast. I said that out loud.
Yeah.
Because I'm amazed at musicians, and my podcast is really just about talking to people at what they do and how they do it. Because I'm guilty of this. Like I've worked on 3 TV shows where we're basically marketing shows, right?
Yeah.
Guests come on who are amazing. They got to hawk something. They get 6 minutes, and you never get to talk to like Bruce Springsteen about how he's a genius at making music because he's got to sell the thing he's selling.
Right.
So I want to just do a show where you talk to people, have time. And I want to talk to them about making music. So I go and I knock on the dressing room door and I go, hey, this may sound crazy.
Now this is ballsy, man. This is that
balls, yeah.
line where, like, especially because he was in the dressing room and you work there. Like, this is where if I'm like, do you do that? I would be like, look, it paid off. Yeah, obviously.
And the other thing is, there's a policy.
Yeah, sure.
There's a policy that you shouldn't don't go talk to the so yeah.
You're an attorney.
Yeah, but
I
hey,
mean,
look.
He's a past attorney. He doesn't care.
I get it.
I mean, literally.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, I can totally
it's okay. I got
that's a good point. He knew the legalities. He's like, screw it. There's no real rules on this.
There's a little line on the bottom.
So I'm nervous and I'm like, you know what? I only have one shot at this. I got to do this, right? So, excuse me. I know this is crazy, but I would love to talk to you about how you make music. I'm always fascinated by that. would you do my podcast? He goes, yeah, sure.
Oh
Just
my
like that.
God!
I mean, what are the odds, right?
Right,
dude.
So if people want to hear the podcast, can they go hear it today or go hear it later?
Yeah. But can I just finish real quick?
Sure.
Quick. I know you got to probably jump, but there's an ending to this. So
Yeah.
he goes, how would we do it? And I froze, and I was like, and I just turned into like this ball of jello, and I literally sounded this. I went, and I started like rubbing my leg like Rain Man and rocking back and forth. I'm like, I'll come to London. And he goes, we're in a room in New York together. Why would you come to London? And then he goes, is it easy to do? And I actually said to Paul McCartney, oh, yeah, it's really easy. You could do it on a phone naked from your toilet. I'm like, oh my God. What am I saying? So now I'm like, okay. So he's like, I go, look, I'll go find your assistant and we'll set it up. He goes, no, you and I will do it. I go, what do you mean? He goes, you and I will exchange numbers. And when I call you, though, you got to be ready to do it. And I'm like,
wow.
What? And yeah. And so then I leave. He does the show. And then my phone rings and I don't recognize the number. And I let it ring the voicemail, and I'm going to play you this voice message. I'm hoping it comes through.
Oh, I hope it does too.
I got to see how I can do this. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys.
I'm trying to figure it out on his phone.
Yeah, you figure it out because while you're trying to figure it out,
Paul Mecurio, by the way, he's going to be at the Dr. Phillips Center December the 29th. He's trying to figure out how to play this voicemail.
Well, go see Paul December 29th. I'm getting to know you
here,
man. It's great.
I think I got it. Here we go. So this is the voice message on my phone. I'm hoping this is going to play for you.
Paul McCartney here. I'm going to ring you back in 5 minutes to do the podcast thing. I've got some time now. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of time. So if you're there at 5 minutes time, you got me. Okay, bye.
Oh my God!
I mean, you're gonna save that forever, right?
I have it saved in my ass. Are you kidding me?
You got a little time capsule in there.
That's on speed dial,
dude. That is so freaking cool, man. Congrats on that.
Hey, by the way, just so you know, the time, and I know it seems so rushed because we only have a certain amount of time, but I'm looking at our texting service, and everybody's loving you, man. Like everyone's saying you should be in the Monster Hall of Fame, and you're like people are digging you. So if you ever come to Orlando and we're like you know on the air, we won't be on the air when you're here, but another time we'd love to have you come in studio. And if you ever want to call back in again, you know I know you know my email address.
It makes perfect sense.
So much.
Everything makes sense now, Paul, with the whole email and the Pauls.
Oh my God, this guy! He is
secret to your success.
This is a meticulous man, but I love him. Paul,
as a repercussion, I'm sending you my writing package.
Listen, real quick. So this is a Broadway show that I'm taking called Permission to Speak.
Yeah.
Frank Oz is directing it. We did it on Broadway. I bring people on stage, audience members. They tell stories from their lives. The premise of the show is we're disconnected. If we share stories, we realize we have more in common than we think, and maybe we're not so disconnected. The stories I've been getting are crazy funny. If you want to play a couple of clips when I'm off the air, you got them, Russ, but from the show. Would love people to come out and support it. It's the first time in the area and first time at the Dr. Phillips Center, and it means a lot to us. And it means so much to me to have me on. You guys have been awesome, so thank you so much. But hope people could come out and check out the show on the 29th. So.
You are a great guest.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us. You know what? Every single email I appreciate.
Yeah.
Listen, can I get your cell so I can call you in the middle of the night?
I have your cell.
We'll trade it for Paul's. We'll trade it for Paul's. I'll give it to you.
I've got his cell number. I got his address. I know where he lives. I got it all from Paul. Hey, Paul.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a pain in the ass.
No, you're not.
You're
Don't
working
worry.
with Frank Oz, man. That is absolutely amazing. I'm a diehard Little Shop of Horrors fan. David DiAgostino, did you work with him in his stage? I mean, that's absolutely amazing.
We got to break. We got to go to break. I'm sorry, Paul. Paul, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, have a great holiday. Take care. All right.